This is the place. They say people come from far, far, far away to find their dreams, chasing down these meteors and comets called dreams in the sky of life.
Ariel showing up as Little Mermaid. It's, their princess stuff, live action adaptations do well. The Aladdin movie made $1 billion, so that should go well. Personally speaking, I would like to remind you guys that Ariel in the Disney World theme park is like a white woman running around with red hair taking photos with your kids. If if Disney is actually going to say, we're committing, this is it, Ariel looks like this, and it's Halle Bailey. This is Ariel, this is her, and I want her in every movie appearance. I want everything that has to do with Ariel to look like Halle Berry from now until forever, Halle Bailey. And that's not happening because, they don't care. They just want to look like they care. That's my Little Mermaid. I have a scheduled tweet about it at 8 o'clock too, where I exactly say the same thing I just said here. Little Mermaid is not a substantial, meaningful, long-term decision. It is just, oh, look, we're doing something black this year. Quota fulfilled. Check.
Yeah, so I have my video coming. It's a lot more calm, and and I'm not gonna be. I'm defending the girl. But as you guys know, look. Let me just say this. I will show you guys an example, a tease of what I have coming in my video. Now, this is the type of shit I'm talking about when I say, and I understand why people do this, because there's a crowd of people that are harshly attacking these actors because of what they look like, right? And I am totally fine with, if they do race swaps, I don't push back on it too much, right? I'll say my piece about it and I'll keep it pushing. I'm not going to sit here and say this is the perfect casting of this adapted character. When I hear people say stuff like this, it just a little bit too delusional in a sense for me, right? When people be saying shit like, hold on, let me bring this up. Sorry, chill. Halle Bailey looks exactly like Ariel.
I don't know. There's like the skin color, which is about like 40% of Ariel, is not the same color. So she looks 60% at most.
Like totally different features. I mean, look.
That's like Feige saying that this is our biggest movie. Like, shut up.
Or, for example, I have another example for you guys. Let me flip that and say this. Ryan Gosling is the perfect Black Panther.
Now that you say that. Wakanda forever.
Like that, like when I understand race swaps happen, they happen. If they happen, I don't push back on them, but I don't act delusional about it. I'm not finna sit here and say Jason Momoa is the perfect Aquaman. He's not. He looks great in the suit, but let's be real. Mm-hmm. He doesn't look like Aquaman. For acting for me, especially if you're adapting a character, I need two things to be met. You look like the character and you act like the character.
What else do you need?
If you're adapting something, that's simple. Like, you can't say it's the perfect adapted casting and only one part of it is met, the acting. Jeffrey Wright's Jim Gordon acted totally like Jim Gordon. Amazing. But I'm not going to be delusional and say he's the perfect Jim Gordon. He doesn't look like Jim Gordon. Like, that's just my thing with these people that do this stuff with the race swaps. Like, look, y'all can do it. It's fine. I'm not tripping. But let's not act delusional about it. And I know why they do it. It's because there's a certain crowd of people that attack these actors because their skin colors and their culture and all that, which shouldn't be happening. But let's not act delusional. There's people who say Anna Diop looks like Starfire. You guys, I'm not joking when I tell y'all I seen people say this shit. I seen people say this shit. There's people who say this woman looks like Starfire. There's people who say this woman right here looks like Starfire. I'm not saying she is going to, You can make her look like Starfire. I'm not saying there's any possible way she can turn into Starfire in real life. But to sit here and tell me this person right here looks like Starfire, I am sorry. I'm not that delusional. I'm sorry. She may be doing a great job acting as a character, but I'm not gonna be playing, delusions and shit. Like, I have two eyes, I can see. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have nothing against these people because of their background, their race, and all that. When Anna Dio became Starfire, I did not bash her for anything I did not bash her for being black. I bashed it because she does not look like this character, and this character needed to be portrayed properly. And this is the first time I'm seeing her in live action, and they give me this. They say this is Starfire. This is not.
No.
This is not. And people want to sit here and say she looks like Starfire. Like, stop. Ugh. Let me get LB a link real quick because he wants to say something. We're gonna head out shortly after LB hops in, because he got a story for us. But you guys, I'm sorry, but I don't play delusions with these race swaps. You know what I'm saying? I'm totally fine with a black woman playing Starfire, but make her look like Starfire, right? Like,
make her orange.
Do the prosthetics and stuff. Like, do it. No issue with a black woman playing Starfire. I'm totally fine with a black woman playing Starfire. A black woman got a voluptuous body to pull off a Starfire. But I'm not finna sit here and be in delusion and say she looks like Starfire. No.
What do you mean she is alien? What do you mean by that, Kita?
I think she's talking about Starfire.
But I know, yeah, but like, what is that in response to? What did you say?
LB, I sent you a link.
Which video about race swapping? I have like 10 of them now. I feel like that's my bread and butter.
Spoiler Kings, I'm gonna say this. I think the actor playing Ariel, Halle Bailey, she can sing. I know she's gonna capture the beautiful voice that Ariel has. She's going to capture a beautiful singing voice, and she's going to probably have the mannerisms and act like the character. But she doesn't look like Ariel. That's it. I'm not saying it's a fully bad casting. She does not look like Ariel. That's it. What's up, LB?
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Good afternoon.
Hello there.
Hello, good sir.
I thought it was funny when you mentioned like how that tweet they said that she looks just like Ariel, and I mean I've always
and LB, mind you, that was from a big discussing film, a very big platform, and a bunch of people agreed with that tweet and liked it.
Exactly, and like I had the same conversation with somebody the other day, and these media folk, or it's just people in general, when it comes to like black people, they like to overcompensate with things. It's just like, look, bruh, you ain't have to go all that far saying she looks just like Ariel. Like, come on, bruh. Like, you all know what you're doing, because if people say she don't look nothing like her, then you're going to come with the whole, see, the racism is out there, blah, 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 blah. Now, we know it's out there, right? But, like, why y'all egging people on and stuff? Like, come on, bro. She don't look nothing like Ariel.
Right, because in doing that, you can definitely love the fact that Halle Bailey's playing Ariel. Nothing wrong with that. But when you do what I just shown, saying Halle Bailey looks like Ariel, like,
well, they don't
even give those racist people ammunition to start coming at you saying some stuff.
Exactly,
because you're just doing it to like pick at them.
That is the only reason.
I'm not saying you can't look. I do not agree with racists, and I don't agree with their whole little rhetoric. But don't even give them the attention. Right. Let me give a quick example. The recent She-Hulk episode, right? Where they showed they gave that one channel a cameo, right? You guys know what channel I'm talking about. With the whole why women is becoming blah, blah, blah. Why can't they make young heroes? They gave that one channel of people a platform. Mm-hmm. I can see what they was doing, but I was like, why'd you acknowledge these fools?
Why
Like,
did you
why
acknowledge them
acknowledge
and not prove them wrong? Like, sorry, go ahead. It's your point, but yeah, go ahead.
But yeah, my thing is like, do not acknowledge these clowns. Don't give them a platform. You can talk about I'm not saying you can't you say anything about them at some point, but don't give these delusional people a platform because they're going to keep up with the delusions. Like, you just gave them a platform. You let them know that what they're saying is getting to you.
I mean, that I don't have a problem with, but it's like,
Yeah, I don't
like,
have a complete
right.
problem with either. But
it's
it
the
doesn't
extra stuff.
bother me.
Like, oh, she looks just like Ariel. Like, what? Like, stop it, bruh. Like, I don't know why they like to do that with us. Like, treat us like we're some soft little snowflakes that we can't handle criticism, and you have to overcompensate and over exaggerate and all this stuff. Like,
Right.
bruh, you can say she looks beautiful as Ariel. Her voice sounds great, but like, come on, bruh. Saying she looks just like Ariel, like, no, bruh.
I don't think that
no.
I believe that your dark skin complexion isn't what they care about. It is more so they hate the people over there. They're really upset at them, and your dark skin is the tool in which it will be shots will be thrown. So, like, does that make sense to you? Like, no one actually cares about this demographic of people who are poorly represented. What they do care about is making those guys over on that side who vote incorrectly really mad. Like, it's really political to these guys. Go ahead, Albie.
No. Finish your thought.
Well, I think it's a political battle between left and right happening here, and they're using race because they know that that's something that the guys on the right really hate. So that's what the people on the left use race for. It's not that they truly care about it and want to make a better world. They just really want to piss off these guys who went Republican.
Right. It's more of a back and forth of pissing off. Like, who can we? Let's just keep pissing each other off.
Like, I've been thinking about this whole thing, like, lately, since the rise, whatever that Lord of the Rings show came out, and like, it honestly, it's a discussion that needs to be had, and it's a lot of things like within this, because you're right with what you're saying, Chillmonger, and it also plays into money, clicks, views, all of that stuff. A lot of things are playing into what's going on with this whole race swapping, diversity, inclusion, war, and all this. So many things. And I mean, it's a discussion that I think definitely needs to be had amongst people, because it's getting more and more outrageous by the day.
Right. And like, LB, since you mentioned the Rings of Power thing, right? Me, so far, I think the show is visually stunning. It's amazing. It has overexceeded expectations. Honestly, to me, it looks a lot better than most MCU and Star Wars shows. Like, those shows are a perfect example of a show with a big budget, like movie quality budget, and putting it into a TV show. But for me, with Rings of Power, I have no issue with there being like black elves and black dwarves and stuff. That don't bother me. That really doesn't. It's just, so far, to me, the cast of characters is the weakest thing for me, right? Yeah. If I had to compare it to like House of Dragon, another fantasy show, House of Dragon is getting the characters in that is pulling me more than Rings of Power. There's only one character so far I like in Rings of Power, and it's the Black Elf. And I think he should be the main character, but he's not.
I mean, I don't know anything about Lord of the Rings, right? So
Yeah.
like I ask people questions, and it's like everyone has a different opinion or view on the matter. And it's like, to me, like, it's a fantasy show, right? And I was told these elves are new characters. So it's like, what's the problem here, people?
I mean, maybe these specific like section of elves, but this thing, I don't think all elves is like white. Like, I think, I don't know how much some people say Tolkien was probably more like a left-leaning person, or a little bit more progressive than most, but he wrote these books. I don't think he literally just said all elves is white, right?
Right.
Because look, if you just look at it in general, all dogs don't look the same. They don't. They don't. You have some that are Chihuahuas. They all part of the same family, but this Chihuahua doesn't look like a pit bull. They're all part of the same species, same family. Hell, even seals are part of the family that dogs are in, just how wolves are.
Yeah.
They
Right.
still don't look like dogs, but they're all part of the same little. I'm not saying that all these elves have to be black. It is, but I don't think all elves in his story are specifically just white. They tell me everybody in this species looks the same, exactly the same color, all that. That's not that's
But the thing is, right?
all roaches
Like-
don't look the same.
The thing is, I keep seeing it's based in Europe. There are
Yeah, it's
black
not
people
based
in
in
Europe.
Yeah.
Oh, but he said the elves were fair skinned. They are fair skinned black people.
Yep.
Like
Huh? Fair skinned black people? What does that mean?
I'm saying, like light skinned black people or white. I
Lighter
mean that like black people that look white. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the argument they're coming up with, saying it's fair skinned people, so they can't be black. You feel me?
Okay.
I'm not saying
light-skinned black people.
I'm not saying I have a term for black people that are extra light being fair, but I'm saying if they saying a character is fair skinned, I can make the argument, well, that you can consider light skinned black people fair skinned. If that's what I'm saying. It's like these excuses they're coming up with is ridiculous.
Well, you know that they just don't want
Right.
anyone who's not white in a major media franchise because they know
Right.
that the young people who are going to watch this are going to be familiar with people who look that way, and they're going to, maybe perhaps possibly value them, and they don't want that to happen. No. It's dangerous to have an inclusive world.
That's all that it boils down to. And then like I see too many people are using like the race swapping thing. Like, yeah, I agree with you there. But when there's no race swapping here and they can still have problems with it, Reva, Star Wars. What's your
Yeah,
excuse
Reva
for
was
that?
a big one. Reva was huge. That was just you're just mad.
Right.
Yeah. And then diminishing the racism because after you and I did our video together, the what do you call them? The fandom menace or whatever the word is for those people. They were like, well, did you even see those DMs? Come on, you're really gonna flip out and make a video about that? And I'm like, oh, you're okay.
Right,
okay,
right.
see
That's
you.
right. Like you're like they're downplaying it because only a couple of DMs were shown. Like, oh, so that means even if it's one DM,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter, people. It's still racism.
All right.
It's like the Cartoon Network thing. Just because you don't recognize it doesn't mean it's not happening. It's actually kind of annoying when you do that. Yeah, the DMs, which were, she said there were hundreds, but we only saw 5. Yeah, you're doing what
Right.
the Cartoon Network people thought you were going to do. Right, K-Dot?
So she's supposed to show all 100 DMs or whatever. Like, come on, y'all stop being stupid. Like, we know what y'all doing, bro. Like, just admit it. I'd appreciate if you admit, like, man, we don't want y'all in our stuff. We want y'all in the background. That's as good as y'all need to be.
Yeah, like, and that's the thing. Just say it. We know you don't want. You know what you're playing. You're playing so much wiggle around not to say it. For example, remember that person who made the comment about too many good white people in the Batman? I'm not going to say his name. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But remember that? There's more good black people than there are good white people. And I literally showed a scene where they brought out Falcone. They brought out Falcone. It was a bunch of good white cops there to arrest him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, your argument just destroyed. That's a lot of good white cops here that's coming to arrest this mob boss in one scene.
Yeah.
Not saying the black people wasn't still good in the movie, like have a good moral standing, but to say that there was more good black people than good white people in the movie,
Yeah.
that's false.
Maybe they're not people anymore when they start listening.
Yeah, I guess background characters in movies don't matter, and not saying they do fully matter, but they do matter in the movie. There literally a bunch of background cops in that scene that wasn't just black. There was some black cops, saw some white cops, and I saw some Hispanic cops. There's a bunch of good cops there ready to arrest Falcone in that movie.
Yeah, bro. It's there's too much of this going on right now. It's just it's outrageous. Like, people aren't watching movies; they're not watching scenes, or people are uploading scenes and editing the scenes to fit their agenda. Like, I don't know if y'all seen the Pinocchio movie, but like, people have been uploading the ending and changing the ending to like make it seem like an agenda. I'm just like, bro, y'all got to stop doing this. It's ridiculous, man.
the god said, I saw someone saying seeing black elves and Rings of Power is something that takes him out the show. Like
how?
And that's insane. It's like what's going to take me out is the writing. Like, prime example. Let me have to use an example. She-Hulk episode 4. The way Wong was written in that episode totally took me out. I did not like how Wong was written, how he was acting. I was like, bruh, you don't need to talk to no law. You the Sorcerer Supreme. Go take it back. Episode, like, come on.
You know what would take me out of a movie? If they made a movie based in the 1800s. No, let's say Terror on the Prairie, right? Say if Terror on the Prairie was all black people. That would take me out of the movie because there weren't no black people in that area. There ain't no black people in that area today. Yeah. So if you're going to make a movie like that, you need to make it in an area where there's black people.
Right. Or let's say I'm watching a movie about the Haitian Revolution and there's Asian people there.
Yeah.
Like let's say it's a whole bunch of Asian people like we see frequent our modern day. No. What is this? On that island of Haiti, there was a bunch of white looking people and a bunch of black looking people that was going at it back and forth. I don't know how some Asian person ended up on this island, but they shouldn't be here right now. I don't know why they're here.
Or like you're watching Friends, a show based in New York, and there's 0 black people around. That would take me out. I'm like, huh? Where's the black people? Where's the Asian people? Where's anybody who's not white? I'm not saying you got to be in the main cast, but like, you know, everywhere you look on the screen,
where they at? Like they nowhere to be seen. It's like where's the diversity in this real like place you're at? Because some people, black people being in a fantasy sci-fi series is somehow ruining their ability to escape from reality. And that's just, they're just racist. They don't want to admit it. They don't want to say it, but they want to say it. It's just be honest about it. And I'm not going to like want to be your friend and chill with you, but at least be honest. I'll at least appreciate that you being honest with your little bullshit hatred and stuff.
Come on, bro. Like how many people gonna straight up be like, yeah, I'm racist. It is what it is.
I'm just like confused of how many
we need more racists like that. At least we can weed out. It makes it easier to weed out if they just honest like, yo, I'm racist. Okay, deuces.
I feel like they have told me that like over the last maybe 3 years, you know, since Last Jedi came out, you kind of know who's who. But for some reason, there's some viewers who really actually think that no, it's Hollywood. They're the problem. I don't know. I don't know how many of them are just swept and confused because they don't know what race is. And they're just going along with it. No, there's no way that what they're saying is racist. I never heard a 6-letter word, so there's not racist. I think like people don't know race and don't really realize that they're supporting.
You gotta say the N word to be racist. Apparently these days.
What about what about like monkey? Like that one's a big one too. Like if you say that, I think you'll get got.
I think that'll be an automatically cancellation.
Darkies was one.
Oh, and no, they get away with that.
What do you mean they get away with that? I thought so. Like,
I'm talking the red hair YouTuber. Since we're not saying,
did she not lose viewerships? Didn't she like lose all of her people, like subs?
I don't think she did. She definitely got exposed for some stuff.
The thumbnail is still up there, and I still get people from her channel coming to my comments telling me, you took her out of context. No, I don't care what the context is. We're not darkies.
Out of context. So it's for them to say you took it out of context is for them to understand that hate is bad, racism is bad. But and you just took it out of context. Like they know hate and racism is bad, and you just took it out of context to make it bad. It's actually something good that was actually said. But if it was racism, I definitely wouldn't be supporting it. It feels like that's the position that idiot would be saying if he's on your comments. That's weird.
Weirdos, yeah.
But inexperience. I don't know their circles, their real life, their surroundings create who they are. Same with me. My interactions with, for example, police officers in my real personal life may reflect the way I view police videos and stuff like that, and other people really think that they're there to protect and serve, and that's what they do. You call 911, and here they come right on time. Like, I don't view it that way.
Right, and so this thing, right? I'm black, just
No,
like
you're
many
not.
of the black people in this country, right?
You're not
Oh,
black.
wow,
I didn't. No, you're not.
Wow. I'm brown today. I'll be brown today, but
Yeah, okay. Whatever you want.
I'm African American, black, just like everybody else in America, right? Now, in the East Coast, right? A lot of black people, when they interact with a bunch of police officers, them officers be toxic, right? But for me, since I'm in California, right, and since I've been in Sacramento and San Francisco currently right now, I never had a bad interaction with a cop so far. You know, I'm not, you know, and when I say that, I'm not trying to say all cops is good, all cops is bad. It's just that my experience is not the same as every other black person, right? But it's not to say that I may not run into what another black person deals with, but, you know, all of us don't go through the same struggles, even since we look like, you know, we do look like each other. But that's just me giving an example of what my life was like dealing with police officers. I probably only got pulled over by a police officer once, but it was honestly nothing negative. It was because I was clearly in the wrong. We was clearly in the wrong what we was doing. So my dad was teaching me how to ride a little electric motorcycle. I was pretty good on that thing. I was going, I was whipping it. I was dope with the electric motorcycle. So he wanted to take me on the street with it. On the street. Not like the main streets, but like, you know, in the residential little neighborhood. And a police officer drove past us. We couldn't do that. So, you know, had to get pulled. We got pulled over. It went good. We just took the motorcycle back home. That's it. We was clearly in the wrong. Clearly in the wrong. But hey,
No ticket.
You know,
Right?
no ticket.
Yeah.
It was
That's
just
a great
you
encounter.
can't have it on the, you know, in running around the neighborhood on the streets. You know, I saw other kids doing it, you know, in the same neighborhood, but hey, whatever.
Wait a minute. That just undone your whole story. So other kids in the neighborhood did it. But what color were the other
It wasn't
kids?
it wasn't like a freak. You know, in the project, you see a bunch of kids on dirt bikes like going frequent. Like, I'm not sure if y'all can relate to that. So here in SF in our projects, we have a bunch of kids that's always riding around on dirt bikes, hopping on the freeway, just breaking the law, doing crazy shit, driving dirt bikes all around. No driver license, nothing. Just doing crazy shit on dirt bikes, driving around the city, and they're not supposed to be. Not street legal.
Mm-hmm.
But when I did it, we was like legit. Like, my motorcycle was not street legal to even put on the street. That's the thing. Is you can't even ride on it. It was a little electric motorcycle. You can't even like ride it on the street. You're not supposed to. Me and my dad just did it when nobody else was like, you know, looking or tripping about it. We still did it. We know we wasn't supposed to, but we did it. He was trying to teach me how to ride an electric motorcycle. Did it on a little private street in our neighborhood where there's barely any activity going on. And we just did it. One day we finally got caught. It didn't end in nothing bad. The cop was just real cool about it. He's like, yo, you can't be riding on the street. We knew we wasn't supposed to be riding on the street. We're not dumb. Oh yeah, wasn't supposed to be doing it. I wasn't tripping anyways. I was pissed. I was like, man, shit, we got caught. Freaking cops. Trash. But it is what it is. We got caught.
You rebel, you. Or like they say, you thug.
Right, yeah. Like, it didn't even, like, my dad didn't even have no bad confrontation with the cop either. It was like real chill. He was just, you know, real nice dude. Was like, yo, you can't be having it on the street like this. Like, my dad can be on the street with his motorcycle because he has a license for it too. But I can't be. I'm like I was like 7 at the time on a little electric motorcycle, following my dad on his motorcycle on his little street. You know, it's like, wasn't supposed to be doing that. My dad knew better, but I really didn't give a fuck. I was like, I wanted to learn how to ride a motorcycle. I'm literally riding on a motorcycle behind my dad, following his motorcycle. Like, I wasn't even fucking tripping. I didn't care. Shit, this shit was fun. It was not right, but
Okay,
the interaction we had definitely wasn't nothing racist, though. It definitely wasn't nothing racist.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if the cop came and was like, what are you darkies doing? Then, yeah, it was like, and even if they don't say that, if they go like, yeah, you can't be doing that. And they started like being extra, like harassing us about it, like being
That's
so
how it
extra.
would go. It wouldn't go the first way. The way that first way you mentioned is how like the She-Hulk writers would make it out of way over exaggerated and like really trying to send a message to you. But yeah, they would be like, "Hey, what are you doing with that? You can't be doing that. What is this yours? Where did it come from?" And if they act like if they really wanted to turn it on, but they were not. The officer that you encountered wasn't trying to turn it on. Probably wasn't even called to come check you out. It was just like, oh, something.
Yeah, nah, he randomly popped up. Yeah, it's like random. It was like a random pop up moments. Maybe somebody did snitch, but I doubt that because people saw. And we was in a suburban white neighborhood doing this. Like we was staying in the suburbs. None of the other people were snitching on us like that. Like we wasn't getting false reports and shit. It wasn't until we moved. This is the craziest shit. It wasn't until we moved to we moved to another side of town. We're still in the suburbs, but it was a more poor suburb. It looked like a poor suburbs. It didn't look like the clean suburbs. It wasn't the ghetto, but it was a little, a little more ghetto suburban place. We moved here. There was this black lady across that lived right next to us, calling false reports on us. One time she called the cops on my mom, and she was there by herself and said, yeah, those people got a bunch of trash inside their backyard. They don't dispose of it. They went in the backyard, was no fucking trash. One time she called the police on us, and she was like, yeah, their dog is barking loud. Didn't have a dog at the time.
What? What?
I was like, yo, this lady crazy.
Shouldn't that be a charge? Like, if you can verifiably prove you do not have a dog and you're complaining about it, then you need to, like, I don't know, get a charge or something.
Well, at the time, I wondered why my mom and dad really didn't go over there and confront the person. But, like, I don't know.
Like King
at
Richard.
At that time, like.
Remember that scene in King Richard? You remember the scene in King Richard where the mom will cross the street and she said, hey.
One thing about my mom and dad, they don't like to draw attention. Like, they don't like to. Like, my dad has a place. I just recently got a new house, and he don't like no attention being drawn to his house. Like, he just wants to be just a normal dude living in the suburbs. He don't want no drama, weird shit going on. So he didn't even want to go over there and entertain the lady. Like, the police dealt with it. After that last bullshit false call, she never did it again. So they probably, hit her like, yo, you can't.
We don't take your calls serious anymore, so we're good.
Right. But nah, they probably if they was younger, they would have done it. But my parents like in their 60s at this time when this happened. They ain't got no time to be going back and forth with people like that. They lived through all that racist shit. Like not saying there's not any more racism. There's still racism, but they was there when the civil rights movement was happening. They was deep in the trenches. My dad didn't get hit by no hoses and stuff, but he dealt with a lot of racist shit. But how they deal with racism now. Honestly, they just keep it pushing. They just keep it pushing. Don't like draw attention to themselves. Keep it pushing. They don't confront his people as much as they used to when they was younger. Like, they ain't got time for. They just focus on themselves. They just focus on themselves. They're even at the point where, like, they don't even frequent with family that much. Like, they just worried about. They just focus on themselves.
You're not going to change anyone's mind if they're stuck in their ways. All right, cool, fine.
Yeah, like they, they're not as confrontational as they probably used to be. I mean, shit. My parents told me one time, and we'll try to end this soon. They went to a Black Panther meeting in St. Louis, and it was like when they was young, and it was in like their 30s or 20s. It was like 30s or 20s. They went to a Black Panther meeting, right? Black Panther meeting in St. Louis. They said the person there was literally trying to get the people there to poison the water supply. And my dad was there, and it was like, yo, we drink from the same water. What are y'all talking about?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, it was some wild ass shit. It was some wild shit. Not saying all the Black Panthers like that, but that specific meeting they went to, they just popped up in, that person that was part of the Black Panther party was saying some crazy shit. Some crazy ass
I would agree. That is crazy.
And even my parents at that time, they was like, yo, this is too much. We drink from the same water. Y'all tripping.
But didn't the FBI have people in there to radicalize? To what's the word? I think
Yeah,
radicalize is the word.
What's that movie that came out recently?
Judas and the Black Messiah.
Yeah, they hired that dude to get up in there and be a snake.
And that's the point. Like, you kind of create the boogeyman, and then you got a reason to raid, to involve yourself, to mass surveillance, etc., etc. Ms. Marvel touched on that too for like tiny bit. When Agent clearly was like, "All right, we know the FBI are watching." He said some line like that. Like, yeah, we know. Philip asks your thoughts on Pinocchio Rotten Tomatoes 28, but they gave Mulan a 73. That sounds like a divisive ass question. I want nothing, no part in it. Rotten Tomatoes, guys, is a useless website. Okay.
Yeah, Philip, I don't really take Rotten Tomatoes score serious for anything, not anymore, even their audience reviews. But I do see the score; it is very low on the critic side. It's just people are not receiving Disney live action remakes well because they shouldn't be doing them. Like it's no. I'm not saying this is gonna be good or bad. I'm not saying it's gonna be good or bad, but people don't really receive these Disney live actions well. I think the one that got received well was Maleficent. If I remember, I think the one people really mess with was Maleficent,
which is weird.
But didn't Maleficent do like a twist to the already established lore anyways? Like they did something slightly different.
The first one, yeah, it was different. This was when they first started doing them, and it wasn't like, yeah, we're just going to copy the movie. Like, so they went different with the first one. Yeah,
right. And maybe it's the fact that they do like a direct copy is what people don't really like. Anyways, I think people would like for them to do a little different twist to it.
I mean, for me, it's like, yeah, like give us a different point of view, like you did with Maleficent, like the Lion King, for example. Why not do Scar's point of view, like they did with the animated version, like they did the Lion King 1.5, and it was from Timon and Pumbaa's point of view. Like, do something like that. But no, they're just copying the movie and add a song, remove a song, add a scene, add a pointless character, and that's it.
The Timon and Pumbaa song was catchy. Quick before the hyena come. Remember how they had to dig a tunnel?
Yeah. They added his family and stuff. Yeah, so like that was, see, they could do stuff like that. But I talked about it because I watched Pinocchio the other day, and it's just like, man, like I watched Pinocchio, the new one, and then the old one back to back, and it's just like the difference is, I think I talked to you about this, Kate. I don't remember, but like when you're watching the animated movies, there is so much going on the screen, like in the backgrounds, the different colors, like things happening, and you can't do that with live action.
Right. If you do it, you would have to really.
It'll look like what was the Johnny Depp movie that he did? Charlie in the Chocolate Factory, looking completely crazy.
Yeah. And that's what you have to do. Like, for them to capture the magic, they have to jump into the magic but do it live. For example, with Mulan, they took away all the Disney magic of it and made it like just a more serious, less goofy animated Disney film, right? It was just a regular, hey, what if Mulan was not Disney? That's what the Mulan movie was. When you took away all the magic, you took away what was special about Mulan. And if you try to do these live actions the way they do the movies, I'm just saying the acting is gonna have to get a little bit corny because you gotta act animated, not just Jim Carrey. Act. You gotta act. You gotta do some Jim Carrey type of stuff,
right? And
because Jim Carrey has a very cartoony and animated type of style he does. And he's like a cartoon character in live action.
Yeah.
So the Jungle Book has the highest score, 94%. Oh. Then Pete's Dragon, 88%. Nobody seen Pete's Dragon. Like nobody watched that at all.
I don't even know what that is.
Cinderella got 83%. Cruella got 74%. Mulan 73. Beauty and the Beast 71. Lady and the Tramp 65. Aladdin 57. Maleficent 53. The Lion King 52. Alice in Wonderland 51. Dumbo 45.
Maleficent that many?
2. Yeah, Maleficent 2, 39. Alice in Wonderland 2, 29, and Pinocchio 30.
And see, look at that drop. You as you was listening, that drop.
Yeah.
Right? And those films before they came out, there's a drop. And where that drop started at is where the problem is beginning at.
Right. Like the
That
scores have gotten lower. Like
Yeah.
when it hasn't like each movie, but like for the most part, each progressive movie, the scores are getting lower.
Generally.
Yeah.
Will they reach Moana? Moana counts as a Disney princess movie, so they'll eventually reach
Yeah.
Moana.
She was in the Wreck-It Ralph movie. When they did all Disney princesses, she was in the roster.
So her turn is coming. The Rock
So is
can
my
still
girl
play
Tiana.
Maui.
So is my girl Tiana. See, Halle Bailey should have been Tiana. It should have did a
Right.
live action Princess and the Frog.
See?
I love Princess and the Frog. That's an underrated Disney movie. Underrated.
Like that's the crazy thing about it. It's like you made a Little Mermaid black when you've already got a black Disney princess sitting right there for you.
Mm-hmm.
But y'all are thinking money, so it's like, yeah, nobody cares about the Princess and the Frog. So yeah,
Tisk, tisk, tisk.
right.
Little Mermaid's still white, guys.
Yep.
Red hair. In a Disney World near you, there will be a red-haired Ariel. There will be a Sebastian the crab lobster right next to her, and she'll be over there taking photos with your kids. It will not be one that looks like Halle Bailey. The likeness of her exists only for this one movie, maybe the toy run that's going to come along with it, but then Ariel's back to being a white woman. This is not progression or step forward. This is not a advancement. This is not fixing a very white issue with media or with Disney princesses. This is a Band-Aid solution. I even struggle to call it a solution.
What did you do? What did you do?